RIPng. NG stands for next generation, is the latest version of RIP that supports IPv6, is easier to configure than the older RIP. If you remember RIP version 2, it was easy to configure. It was one of the easiest actually routing protocols to configure, but RIPng is even easier. Yeah, so if we go to one of the routers, if we console them in and verify that all our IP addresses have been configured already, if you look at the topology, this topology is the same topology that we've been using before. The only thing I did is I only changed the IP addresses. And if you go to one of the routers in, say, show IPv6 interface brief, you can see we have IP addresses that is up, yeah, and we have our gigabit 0/0 IP addresses are up. Okay, this is a local link, so that's automatically assigned link local. So if we go to R2 as well and show IPv6 interface brief, we can see that we have IP address configured. So we can ping the other side, ping and 1. Yeah, that's success. Okay, so let's go and configure RIP. First of all, we need to enable IPv6 capability for this router. So that's how you enable it. You need to write down that command and enter. Then IPv6, everything that you do in IPv6, you need to start with IPv6. Yeah, so router RIP, and you need to name it. So ABH, enter, and that's it. You configure it. You exit, you configure RIP, but you haven't enabled it. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we need to go inside the interface. That's how you enable it, and 0/0. It depends on which interface you want to enable in RIP. So instead of using network statement, this is how you configure the new RIP. Okay, so IPv6 RIP, and you tell the name that you gave, and all you need to do is just enable it. Enter, exit out of here. If you remember our interfaces, we have two interfaces. We have interface 0/0, and the other interface is 0/1. So we need to enable them both. We need to go inside the interface that we need to enable, interface gigabit 0/1, whoops, 0/1, and write down IPv6 RIP and ABH enable. Okay, so if you look at the topology on this side of the network, we have configured twice, on this interface and on this interface. Yeah, so we will go on router 2 and configure it on this interface and on this interface, so we will have more interesting routing table. Okay, let's go to R2 config T. We need to enable IPv6 for this router. Okay, then IPv6 router and RIP ABH, enter, exit out of there. That's all you need to do in there. Go inside the interface, and you need to go inside the actual interface you want. IPv RIP, and make sure that you write down the name, enable, exit out of there, go inside the other interface that you want to enable. 0/0. Repetition is good. If you keep repeating the same command over and over, you will remember. The way you recall it will be much more easier than the commands that you don't normally use. Okay, enable. Okay, so show IPv, we need to verify the IPv route, and as you can see, we have one route here that is advertised by R1. So if you look at it on the topology, is C18 column 1. Yeah, so if you look at it here, that is the exact network that R1 is advertising to us. Okay, so we are in R2. Let's go to R1 and see the routing table of R1. Okay, and we are in R1. Go out of here, show IPv route. Okay, so in R1 we see two networks in R1 because I was playing around with it earlier and I configured this, actually this, my bad, and yeah, it's configured, but I can disable it, no problem. But anyway, it's making our routing table anyway. It's interesting. So if you look at it here, we have this network. That's the one that we configured, not the one I configured. Okay, if you go here, that's the network that we injected into RIP. So that is all the verification we need, and thanks for watching.